So the question reads, find the least common denominator, LCD, of 3/10 and 1/8. So just a quick review, LCD, with the least common denominator, it's essentially just the least common multiple, but specifically for a fraction or denominator. So when you do this question, it's really important to just remember that this is something that's specific to fractions. And when you do this, you're going to have to sort of just keep in mind that this is something you're going to have to do if you're adding or subtracting fractions in some way, shape, or form. You're not going to need to do this if you're multiplying or dividing or anything. That's a whole other set of rules. So for this question, you need to find the least common multiple for these fractions. So I'm going to start with the number that you're going to have to look at. Remember, denominator is at the bottom, numerator is on the top. So we don't even need to worry about the numerator. You only need to worry about the denominator. So my two numbers on the bottom are 10 and 8. So those are my two denominators, and I'm going to write out 10, and I'm going to write out 8. Now I'm just going to go out maybe 4 or 5 numbers. Sometimes it's better to start small and then see how far you have to go, but let's just start with like 4 or 5. So 10, we're doing the multiple, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and do 8. So that's 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Okay. So now remember, we said least common multiple. So what is the number that is the smallest multiple of this? So I could go and I could say, a lot of people, they just go in and they just multiply those two things. But it's to your benefit to just make sure that you're going with the smallest number, because that way you don't have to simplify later. So when you go ahead and do this, you're going to say, okay, what number is the same? That's the same in both these numbers. You say 8. Well, obviously, since I have tens, it's going to be something with the ending of 0. So I know I don't have a 0 there, no there, no there, no there, but here I have 40, and this one's 40. So my least common denominator for this answer is 40. Sometimes you're going to have to go out a little farther than like 3 or so. Sometimes you can get lucky. Most of the time, you really won't have to, especially at your guys' level. But you really shouldn't have to go past 5, maybe 6, to get the answer. If you're going past to 10, you did something wrong. Go check your multiples list. But yeah, least common multiple, and that's it. So let me know if you guys need any more help or need another example.